Prepare for the collapse, folks. Price hikes of 50%, more stores are closing. Now, when we go out to buy necessities, we usually have one store in mind, and this is because we have a general idea of what we're going to be spending, and we have a pretty good feel for their prices. Now, of course, there's Walmart, there's Target, there's Costco, and lots of other retailers who have a steady flow of customers that are coming in and out of their stores. But since things are changing at such a rapid pace, we're now seeing the same stores either closing up shop or they're hiking their prices up to high heaven. Now, would it surprise you to hear that some retailers are hiking their prices by around 50%? Have you ever been to Sears? I used to love that place. They had stuff for kids, adults, whatever. But as the economy and inflation continues to rampage, we're now seeing less of them. And I've got an update of more of their stores closing up permanently. What do you guys remember about Sears? I remember back in the day, Sears used to dominate. In fact, they were like one of the main anchor stores in the malls. Not anymore. I can remember going through their catalogs. They had a toy section during Christmas time. It was awesome back in the day. And in some not so awesome news, weddings may be a bit sadder this year as the country's biggest wedding store, David's Bridal, is now laying off thousands of people and is now being prepared to be sold. Thousands losing their jobs and businesses closing. Are we now at the cusp of a complete economic collapse? Now, before I continue, please take a second and drop a like for the video and also share this. Totally helps out with the channel. I really do appreciate you guys' support. It means a lot to me. And if you're new here in need of your daily dose of the truth when it comes to the economy, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, the housing market, the stock market, and what's really going on in Washington, D.C., make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for the best way to buy gold or silver, be sure to check out the links in the description down below this video. Now, when it comes to knowledge within different markets, I try and listen to people who actually have skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? So when Jeremy Grantham, a prolific investor who's been warning us of devastating market crashes for like, what, 2 years now? When he says that he's expecting the S&P 500 to drop by at least 27% and that there's room for it to drop by 50%, I tend to listen to what the man has to say. Now, he's also predicting bubbles bursting, and not just the stock market, but also in real estate as well. So, according to Grantham, quote, "The recessions are mild if everybody does everything right and there are no complications. They are terrible if people get everything wrong. Other things will break and who knows what they'll be." Now, we are by no means finished with the stress to the financial system. When the great bubbles break, they do impose a lot of stress on the system, end quote. So he sees more problems after that entire deal with Silicon Valley Bank, and with the way that things are going, I'm seeing more people who are completely unprepared for a downturn. Except for you guys, of course, right? This community is filled with sharp minds who know how to prepare and who have been preparing. Now, speaking of preparing ourselves, do you usually prepare a list before you go out to get your groceries? And to add to that, like, where do you usually buy your groceries from? Do you go to Costco? Now, if you frequent Costco, you're probably one in several people who are now contemplating a swift change of store options, as thousands of items there are seeing price hikes as high as 50%. What's that term called again? Sticker shock? Yeah, that's it. So a lot of loyal Costco customers are experiencing sticker shock as Costco's executives are saying that their stores are getting hit with supply chain issues and that they're being left with no choice but to raise their prices. And they're now being talked about all over Reddit because they're hiking prices on food products, stuff that usually spends very little time on the shelves because it's in high demand. But still, we're going to hear a lot about this entire success story as to how inflation is being tamed and that our expenses are going down. But do you really believe that? These hikes are forcing more and more people to cut back on costs. And like I said, these are food products. How would you feel if the economy was in such a bad state that you had to cut back on your meals? Like, instead of eating 3-4 times a day, maybe only eat 2, maybe once? A bad state would be an understatement if we talked about Sears. You guys remember Sears, right? Were you guys aware that they're now closing up their final North Carolina Sears location? So the last Sears there is located in Friendly Center in Greensboro. Now, there's multiple signs saying store closing sales, and this spells out its inevitable doom. But nah, the economy is doing great, right? Seeing stuff like this all over the news just proves exactly how disconnected some people are to reality. And if we're not mistaken, Sears has been around for almost a century, but the economy just doesn't care about us being sentimental. All it cares about is profit and numbers. And if we're talking about numbers, Best Buy is seeing a change in consumer behavior, and it's changed enough for them to lay off hundreds of their store employees. A spokesperson from the company said that they're evolving their store experience, or in other words, they're cutting back on the costs. I also want to point out that these roles that they're doing these layoffs on, they're considered as consultant roles, basically subject matter experts who know exactly what they're talking about on specific electronics.
Best Buy is cutting store jobs across the U.S. The Wall Street Journal reports the electronics retailer is looking to trim costs and shift its business more toward e-commerce. The company plans to eliminate hundreds of consultant roles. Consultants are the store workers who specialize in selling complex products such as computers and smartphones.
Oh, you need some help picking out some of the best computer and smartphone technology for your lifestyle? Sorry, there's no one here who can help or guide you through that. We laid them all off. Go ask Google instead. Can you believe that this is happening to us now? And it's not a secret that the economy's in a tough spot. I mean, check out David's Bridal. They're like the biggest bridal store in the United States.
One of the largest wedding dress retailers in the United States has filed for bankruptcy. The move by David's Bridal creates an uncertain future for the company and its thousands of workers. Nydia Hahn joins us now live from Plymouth meeting with more on what's next for the company and its customers. Nydia.
Yeah, Sarah, the company is based in Conshohocken, and a bankruptcy hearing in Trenton is happening right now. Just a couple hours ago, David's Bridal told the court that it has 130,000 outstanding orders and it plans to fulfill all of them. That's a relief for brides and for other customers, but thousands of employees are scrambling right now and in panic mode. The company is saying it is laying off about 80% of its workforce.
As far as people that's like losing jobs, yeah, it's sad. It's hard out here as far as the economy.
That was the main concern among people we talked to outside of David's Bridal. Customers worried not for themselves or their dresses, but for the workers. Even bride-to-be Maddie Cunningham.
It's kind of stressful, like going into the process, but you also like feel bad for all the employees that are getting laid off.
However, being big doesn't necessarily mean that they can't fail. And they've now started the process of letting 9,000 of their employees go right at the start of the wedding season. Now, isn't that something? A spokesperson for the company had this to say, quote, "We are evaluating our strategic options and a sale process is underway. At this time, there are no updates to share and all stores are open to serve customers. Providing excellent service remains our focus and we are committed to serving and delivering for our brides and customers of being part of a magical moment." End quote. You know what would be magical? If layoffs weren't as common as it is today. It's like a daily thing now, but I guess that's a clear sign of a recession, although you're not going to see that on the news. What are your thoughts on everything that we talked about today, guys? Let me know what you're thinking in the comment section down below. Now, during an economic downturn, there are losers and of course there are winners. It's easy to spot those that end up on the wrong side. And these are those who fail to heed the warnings. They fail to prepare and they continue to spend, ignoring that down the line great deals and discounts were fast approaching. Now, if you want to be a winner when everything's said and done, I need your full attention for the next 30 seconds or so. Your cash flow can be improved. I want you guys to know that. There are plenty of different side hustles and small businesses that can help you to generate multiple streams of income, but you have to figure out which one suits you best. You could also look into investing, especially if you already have some cash. Maybe you want to generate some passive income off of that cash. Make your money work for you. Now, if you want to protect your wealth, look into precious metals like gold and silver. You could even short the US dollar if you're interested. Many people don't even realize how to do that. Now, with the upcoming downturn, big discounts are for sure to come up in the real estate market as well as in the stock market. These are the things that can really grow your wealth just like that. But it's not something easy to get into, and that's where I come in. So if you guys are interested in learning more about these methods, you want to get back into financial freedom, feel free to drop me a comment down below. I'd love to make more videos for you guys on these subjects if you guys are interested. Now, before I go, don't forget to drop a huge thumbs up for the video. Totally helps out. And if you really want to support the channel, make sure to share this video. Appreciate you guys watching. You guys are awesome. Be kind to one another, and I'll see you on the next one.